From the Diary of Anne Frank. There was going to be a Jewish Christian conference somewhere, and I was asked if I could do a dance and what woman would I choose. And I said, can I do Anne Frank? She's not from biblical times, but what a story. I knew I could dance Anne Frank, both from being of a Jewish background, and I felt I looked like her. So I said, I can do this, but it took a long time, working with her wonderful words, working with the diary, and I made a booklet of all the, almost her whole diary. Her diary, Kitty, and she confided to Kitty all the time. So she's on the floor, writing away. Here she is, on the floor on her stomach, her legs kicked up behind her. I see the 8 of us with our secret annex, as if we were a little piece of blue heaven, surrounded by heavy black rain clouds. The round, clearly defined spot where we stand is still safe, but the clouds gather more closely about us, and the circle which separates us from the approaching danger closes more and more tightly. And the dance begins. She is in this hiding place, as we know the story. And outside there's always the sound of footsteps, and are they going to find the place? The score I used was a mixture of, from the Broadway production of Anne Frank. They had this, you know, and you'd go, wow. And also a beautiful movement from a quartet or quintet of Mozart. I think it was a Mozart quartet that I love very much, and I mingled them together and would freeze whenever the footsteps came. And so she mimicked those footsteps, and I have big boots, and I was pretending to be like the soldiers, mocking them really. And then of course I was coming to Peter, whom she fell in love with. I had a crush on, and then her crying, and then her coming into her room with a big bundle. She had a getaway bag, or at least in my imagination she did. Maybe she did. And I would tiptoe in to be in bed with my father when it got too many guns outside. In the final scene, it's Hanukkah, and she's lighting the candles, and I'm a dancer, not a singer. I made myself sing, Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, the sweet celebration. And in the middle of that, I'm stopped short because there's the, this time they find it, and the door opens, and she's trembling, and she clutches her getaway bag, and it's the final moment, and then suddenly her hands are up, she's let out. From the Diary of Anne Frank. Well, we did it for that conference in South Carolina. I was very proud to do it there. And an old friend of my mother's came, Lili, who was Jewish and had escaped from the Nazis and had made her way here, and she was there. She was a potter and was there this summertime, something, I'm not sure why, but she came, and then she grabbed me and hugged me as I went down from the stage with my hands up. She leapt into the aisle and grabbed me. I hadn't seen her in 20, 30 years. It was wonderful, wonderful moment for me of connecting with my mother and my history. We did it when we went to Avignon. It was part of a whole medley of dances, and that will be another story. I know we did it at St. John the Divine when there was an exhibit on women in the church, which included Krista, which caused a sensation, of course. But that was the first time, I think, at the cathedral that I did it. And then I've taught it to younger dancers, of course. I only did it for a few years, and then taught it to other dancers. To end, as Anne Frank says, but I really believe that people are good at heart.
surrounded by heavy black rain clouds. The round, clearly defined spot where we stand is still safe, but the clouds gather more closely about us, and the circle which separates us from the approaching danger closes more and more tightly. instead of a son, I should have tried to make friends with her too. To my great joy, I will be quite honest about it. Already this morning, I noticed that Peter kept looking at me all the time. Not in the ordinary way, I don't know how, I just can't explain it. He gave me a lovely feeling inside, but it was nothing wrong. I don't believe that the big men, the politicians and the capitalists alone